And we're live.
What's up? Welcome to the Dream Show Live, everybody. First time we're streaming live on Kick. So we want to definitely welcome everybody there, tuning in. Um, we are here with, well, if you don't know Isaac up there is,
The Wandering Grappler.
Oh,
what the heck?
What was that?
That wasn't me. And then
Yeah.
that must have been Keelan up there violating Keelan lawyer from PGF fame, uh, co-owner, producer, muse, whatever for the PGF. We're we're always glad to have Keelan around, even if it's just to have him as like a punching bag, uh, personally. But what's up, Keelan? How you doing, man?
dude, I've been good. Been busy, ready to get this season started. 1 week away today.
Oh, that's a fact. Wow, I hadn't even really been thinking about it. I haven't been thinking about it that way because I'm obviously getting ready to go to be out there, and so trying to prep to be gone like that and have everything that I'll need ready to go with me, like that is it's been a bit of a busy time too, for myself. But what's some of the stuff that you've been really having to work on to kind of tighten this thing up leading into the season this time?
I mean, tighten it up. Just logistics, honestly, scheduling, planning, that kind of stuff, creating templates that are used for next season because things are getting similar to the last season. There was so much like change from season to season, but now it's getting similar each season because like we've kind of honed in on the game. So I would say the main thing is just like assets, graphics, the boring stuff, just like
Mm.
scheduling. It's been a lot to go from just doing something cool with our friends in the gym, which kind of the whole community understands that part, to like moving a $500,000 league every season. Like, you know, that there's a lot of moving parts that go with that. So,
Mhm.
just tightening up that, if you will.
Yeah.
What's the biggest difference this season that you felt compared to all the rest of the seasons on that preparation?
Biggest difference. Um, just the teams. We have real franchises now. Like there were guys and girls that saw the vision, saw the league, wanted to invest in it, and the franchises are owned by real people now. So that feels different. They have like skin in the game. They care who their coach is and who their GM is, and like they care who their first round draft pick was. Like the draft felt different because the teams are owned, like they're real franchises.
Sorry, I'm over here putting some stuff in the stories that I have you on here, so people think I'm cool and they'll come jump in.
Dude, I wanna watch. I'm probably not following you guys on Kick because I
You
don't.
haven't followed me on Kick yet? I followed everybody.
Let me find you
What up,
because I
Wallow?
because I want to see the chat.
Wallow,
Yeah, I don't know.
you're over
Yeah, I'm
there on
trying to figure
YouTube.
this stuff
Come
out.
over on Kick with us, Wallow.
Come and kick it with us, Wallow.
Oh,
Come to my channel though. Uh-oh. What is that?
who was that?
That was
I don't know
power.
what. That was cool.
That
though.
was well timed.
Dude, I like that. I think it may have been my phone from when I was posting on the story. I must have clicked over to another one. But is that is that legal here? I don't know. I don't like how much bandwidth I get, or like what can I do here, Isaac? Let me know.
And Kick.
Yeah, can I
I mean,
mess
I think
around?
it's really up to you.
It's not social media though, Wallow. Get your ass over here. You want to?
I mean, I think it's really up to you what you're allowed to do on Kick, but I
Wallow,
feel like I can give you that kind of that much of a lead.
big body Benzo. You need to be on Kick. That's all I'm trying. I'm trying to told you. We got the hookup. You and listen, and I'll talk to you about it. But PGF, we're doing it bigly this season and every season. But no, that's definitely, I think, one of the biggest things I've noticed for you guys, Keelan, is that you have, and Isaac, we've talked about this, y'all have help. Y'all have actual like people that are gonna do the jobs that you guys have kind of been having to do, wearing multiple hats throughout the entirety of the season, doing a lot of different things. So it's Clear Life Media, correct?
Yep.
Coming in. To me, I feel like that may be one of the biggest things that could be a change for you specifically. What can you tell me about that, and how maybe that's gonna help you do some of the other things you want to do with the PGF?
Yeah, we've always just done it ourselves, me and Isaac, and we came from YouTube and just like streaming, doing little podcasts and just stuff like this, right? And then we grew into like doing a real live event
I'm not.
with a ton of moving parts, and it scaled pretty fast. And so Clear Life Media is just a professional production studio that handles real live events on the regular, specializing in sports, familiar with jiu-jitsu. So it was a no-brainer. They've done this before. They're going to be there for the whole season, and that takes a huge load off my plate as the director and producer. And it's like there's the experience that comes with them, the equipment that they have in their trailer. That alone allows me to divert my mental resources into some of the other moving parts of the league. So I'm definitely excited about that, and looking forward to see how it pans out this season in terms of the production and stuff.
Yeah, you were talking about the logistics being a big part of the things that we've had to grow with, a lot of, and that's definitely been something that's true. And so that taken off your plate, I feel like it'll be a chance for you to maybe get back to the Keelan that's the creative that you really kind of are more of, instead of having to put so much brain power into all that other stuff. It's going to allow you to maybe play back towards the side that you like a little bit more too. So that's going to be great for all of us. I'm really excited for that part of it too. We're 2026 season now. It is the 9th season of the PGF, but we're going now with year numbers, because we're going to go with one season per year. Is that how the format's going to be going forward? Right, we're going to be 2026, then 27. If we expand, it would be in numbers of weeks.
Yep.
And not in more seasons per year, correct?
Correct. Most of the sports leagues, they only have one season per year. We're looking at like a NFL kind of model where there's eventually 32 teams across the countries, and it's going across 18 weeks, call it something around those lines. And then that's the cutoff.
Is that, yeah, I guess 18 total with the playoffs, or would that be a regular season?
A regular season.
That's interesting. And at that point, there would just be so much going on. It's hard to really kind of imagine.
In that point, though, they're not doing three matches a week, though. In an 18-week season, you're doing one game a week, one match.
Oh,
it's just drawn out over 18 weeks. Your team match is the match for the week. That there's a game night. It's Philly versus Alabama, and it's a home game. And then y'all's team is going to have way more than 5 athletes starting. There'll be more representatives, maybe more weight classes. You'll have. It's going to be a deeper game at that point.
interesting.
So do you think that it will always exist to some extent the way that it does, of having the 3 games a night, and just depending on timing and type of event? Or are you saying that in the future you see that's how all the games will be played, aside from mini games that get played over a weekend or something like that, like super tournaments or something?
For the PGF World season in the future, when there's more than 16 teams, it'll be one game a week for each athlete for sure.
That's interesting because I mean, I guess I didn't really grow up or ever become really familiar with wrestling, but that's really similar of like how a wrestling season goes, right? Like you have your match that's like lined up, or
there's duels or whatever, right? I guess, but
or
then
duels. I guess
typically there'd be 2 or 3 teams, so they would only have one match. They wouldn't play multiple teams or multiple games, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, and y'all know I'm the first off the contrarian of all things that you present to me, Keelan. So I don't like that. I don't like people playing on my phone. You know what I'm saying? I want, I like to keep it real, and I think to me that's part of that is the multiple matches in a night thing. I do understand again, like I can already see the logistics of it and why with so many teams and how things go, but I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just very short sighted on it, but it just doesn't seem like enough for even the players
to get a match every single week for 18 weeks.
I don't know. Maybe that's what I said. Maybe I'm just kind of not thinking about it that way because there would be travel and all that different stuff involved also. No, I don't want to say scared, but I do like what I like, and I like being comfortable for sure. So that's what I say. I would definitely go ahead and label myself, and I think y'all know that about me. I'm a little bit of the first contrarian, but I'm willing to change if y'all can explain it to me. I'm willing to adapt, much like generally the PGF because it was a stupid rule set in the beginning. But once I got there and helped y'all figure it out, then we nailed it down. You know, we really came up on something special then, right, Isaac? You and I.
Yeah. I mean,
without us, Keelan, he would just be lost somewhere.
We stumbled into this.
Somebody say wandered.
I've heard that said in the ether.
Has said that. So very interesting. Very interesting. No, and so that's what I say. I think I could, like I said, with just a little bit more thought, like, yeah, like you said, 18 matches in in that time, maybe with a bye week somewhere along the way, because that's a grind. That travel's a grind. It's interesting. It is, and it changes a lot of stuff. But that's stuff that would be changing anyway. I think with the league growing the way it does, everybody's going to have their own like ecosystem around their teams, where you have your own staff that does stuff like everything else with a game day. You'll have your own like news team. You'll have your own like socials and your own announcers and just different commentators and things like that too, maybe except for the big games. Maybe then there's like the John Madden Pat Summerall duo that are like for the big games or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these dudes are here. It's like, oh, TJ and Anik are there. It's like, oh, this is a big one. That means it's important. It's more the game of the week or whatever kind of scenarios and stuff like that. So yeah, so I could definitely see a lot of that. I've already thought about it a lot anyway, because I know it's coming. But I guess I would say I didn't think about it shrinking to one match per athlete, which just sounds stupid right now. But again, I'm open to change. I'm willing to. I am.
Okay. But I mean, I guess it's kind of the same knee jerk reaction that everybody had when it shrank from the 1 week format, because the 1 week format, the only reason we were doing that was logistically it was impossible to do what we were currently doing, and so we did it. It created that gauntlet, that experience. It was an era. I was explaining it to Chewy the other day, and he was like, "Wait, like 1 week?" And yeah, and it's like that was a crazy time, but times changed, and to get to the goal that I think that Brandon and Keelan have had the entire time, to where everybody can go to this league and everybody can go to, make it in a professional setting, it has to be a professional setting. And that looks more like a professional setting than, hey, let's see if everybody survives this gauntlet. But I don't think that dies. I think that some rule sets, like the community's always been, you could have spinoff shows, you could have things. The teams could put on like weekend events that were like those type of like homages to the old days.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things you could do, definitely, where you could do stuff. But I think it's just going to be very interesting, and I think it is maybe needed for longevity, like you said, for athletes to be working consistently, being paid for doing a job, one that maybe doesn't grind them up so quickly. Definitely like the week can, and like this, 3 per over 5 or 6 weeks can, I think, grind them up a little bit too. You see most other professional sports with a travel schedule that you have to adapt to or whatever, which comes with teams being able to provide and take care of athletes and stuff. So that's definitely things that we've been talking about in meetings and stuff. Is like, when can we provide a lot more stuff for the athletes? When can different types of travel be arranged for people? When can we provide like physical therapists on staff like all the time? When can we, maybe have our own stuff for everything like that kind of comes into it, team doctors and stuff that are there consistently that you're working with and stuff like that. That's like got to be done like now. Those are things that are needing to be done and taken care of quickly for the future, because that's what I mean, even high schools have that.
Yep, and that's what we're building. I mean, the league is what creates that infrastructure to where that exists, and the teams buying in is the most important part of that. And then everything else, if you build it, it will come, and that's honestly what we're seeing, and it's just started.
Yeah, we're deep, right? In our minds, we're really deep in this thing. We're like 10 toes, whatever. But for other people, they've never heard of it. They don't even know what it is, or it's just kind of a tournament, or it's that thing kind of that they do. So there's still a lot of education out there that could be done about the PGF and what it is and what it's not.
Yeah, I mean it's been organic and slow on purpose. Like, I wouldn't say slow on purpose with the growth, but like it's been organic on purpose. We've never like
everything's been intentional.
Yeah, and we haven't dumped thousands and thousands or hundreds of thousands in marketing. I think over the course of the lifetime of the PGF, we've dumped a couple $100, like literally zero in terms of marketing. We've built the thing and it's grown organically, and that's what it is right now. And like the organic growth allows us to refine over seasons without like making some grand gesture like we've done it and then it not be what anybody really wanted it to be. So I feel like it's been very intentional and very in line with like one of my favorite sayings, which I know you two are a couple philosophers here. The universe rushes nothing, yet everything is accomplished. And yeah, it is like proof of that, We're just chugging along, and it's slowly but surely, you'll all see.
Well, and at this pace, like being along for the ride like we've been, it's been one of those situations where the timing's almost been perfect every time. Like when things play out, like you and I've had a few of those moments, Keelan, where like you kind of just, we thought we should have done something faster, done something at this time or whatever, and we get done with that time, or that time plays through, it executes, and we go, oh damn, actually this was the better time to do it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like when you follow the Tao. It's always perfect timing.
I want to go back to the thing that you said about the marketing too, because I think that goes in with some of the timing stuff. Is like, at least for myself, like I understood that there was marketing behind things. You know what I mean? Like in general, like shows and TV and fight promotions and different things like that, obviously. But I don't think I realized how much of it was that. Like how much of that is what most kind of shows and stuff are. And that's why stuff doesn't last often, is because it is a lot of just like promotion that's really good, but there's not the substance, like you were saying, they don't have the chance to like redo some of the stuff because they've already promised so much right off the bat, that you can't really come back from it once everybody's like you've been exposed. Whereas for us, we've really kind of said the whole time that this is just us, doing our thing, having a good time, trying to build this thing that we think is right. And, at least it's fun for us and we enjoy it and stuff like that. So we've kind of had that slow burn and, I definitely wanted a lot more, eyes and attention and all the stuff, for it. But definitely, like you said, I definitely have seen times where it's like, oh, I'm glad that we weren't quite that big yet, or whatever the thing is. So I'm definitely like tracking, kind of what you're saying there with the marketing stuff and how much maybe we could have done with that, but how it was probably right to just keep like working to get the thing right.
Yeah, I mean, if we were following normal standard business protocols, we'd be spending 5 to 10% of our overall budget like on marketing alone, which would put us at, we should be spending like $20 to $40,000 a season on marketing. And
Great day.
we've never spent, again, we've barely spent hundreds, much less thousands on marketing. So it's all been organic for the PGF. We finally got people hopping in the chat over here, I see.
Oh yeah, who's that? This Sam Schwartz fella who's winning season 9. Man,
well, season 26. Who's taking it?
Are we thinking individual or are we thinking?
Yeah, that's because individual, because that's such a different thing, right?
Yes.
Picking the winner of the teams and trying to like I thought about that too, and that's a weird spot to what? That's it. Oh, the individual, I guess, is what you're saying is all that matters, or what? The team is the team.
I think he's saying individual.
Sam, I don't like that answer. as a GM, I don't like that answer. I love you though, like, and I respect it, but man, who's gonna win the individual? It's gonna come down between a few guys. I'm thinking like Rayfield, Cockle, Kyle Chambers, Sean Melanson, maybe Noah McCulley. Those are my top picks, I think.
Was that just everybody on your team?
Oh, was that? No, I mean, I definitely think, that Rayfield for real is definitely one of the favorites in my opinion. I don't have enough on Andrew to say yes or no yet, but from the reports that I get, he's going to be a problem for people too. But I think Rayfield's a favorite. Obviously, you got Jet, maybe Elijah. I honestly think Kevin Beering might be a problem this season. He's kind of been low key for a little bit here leading in. So I'm curious what he's going to be like. At some point, he's going to have that big breakout moment that he's just kind of been waiting on, I think. So objectively, I think it could be one of those like 4 to 5 guys if I'm just picking off of what I think.
I think the two favorites, if you poll the internets of our fans, would have to be Jet and Elijah. Everybody thinks that like, oh, it's going to be one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of guys, Sam being one of them, that have seen the PGF enough, been here. Some of these guys, some of these new guys, like there's a lot of guys that could have some upsets this season in terms of making a run for that individual championship. Anything can happen, you know. We still have that aspect of the game. So, and there's a lot of these guys are really freaking good, man. And like Sam being the guy in the comments right now, dude, if you watch the
That's literally what I was thinking in my head, and I didn't want to interrupt Keelan. Sam is like, you just got to make the playoffs, and then you're a live player for sure. To once you get there, like that's what I'm saying. If we're picking again in my mind, I'm picking the regular season winner more than I'm even picking like the playoff winner. See, that's like in my mind, I'm still thinking who's going to win the regular season title as the individual, but you're thinking even just got to make the playoffs, which is again, that's a different
animal. A whole nother animal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to win the season and be the leading scorer of the season. That's real nice, but the game's not over yet. You know, like there's a second part of the game. That's like saying that's like winning the MVP of your season, but like that's a cool title. Like, oh, I scored the most points that season, but the game's not over. Like, go win the playoffs now. You know, whoever makes it to the playoffs and then goes and wins the playoffs, like, did the whole thing.
All right. Hear me out. Then we got it. I think there needs to be something a little different. Then I don't necessarily agree with that idea. Needing to like because that's not good for the team. Somebody that's thinking that way because you're only in there for yourself. But that's something that'll work itself out, I guess, through people doing stuff or whatever. That's interesting. There is only one, like there's one title, but there's there's team championships. There's that thing that's more than the individual that I think is important in what we're doing.
Are you guys familiar with F1 racing? Have you ever seen it? Do you actually understand how their league works, or do you just know that they race fast cars?
They race cars for a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah, I've watched the first season of that episode.
They go fast, low to the ground.
So in F1, there's a season of racing, right? And there's teams. There's 10 teams in the league, and each team has 2 athletes on it. Okay, 2 drivers, 2 cars. And so every game day, every race day, all the teams take their 2 drivers, their 2 athletes, and they go compete in the game, in the race, right? And they're trying to score points. Each driver is trying to score points for their team and for themselves. It works the exact same. And at the end of the season, there is a team champion, whichever team scored the most points accumulated by their 2 drivers, their 2 athletes. And then there's an individual champion, whoever scored the most points with their
but they don't, but see, there's not like a drag race between those guys one time between those guys to figure it out. It's like the total points guy during the regular season, he's the champion, and the total, so it's not the same.
So here's what I'm getting at. Of course it's not the same. What I'm getting at is
you said it was the same though.
No. I said we've modeled the PGF off of these professional sports leagues.
Okay.
The NFL, the NBA, F1, like all the
NASCAR.
Yes, and we've created the jiu-jitsu version, the grappling version of a professional sports league, right? Where there's team stuff, there's individual stuff, there's regular season, there's playoffs, there's preseason, there's drafts, there's the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, and what I hear you saying is that the culture's still not decided on what the game is and what it means yet. It's still That's still got to kind of be worked out,
No,
and
no,
not in a bad way.
no,
Like,
no.
but
It means
there's going to be
things to
as
different.
it grows. But as it grows, there's going to be a push more towards team or more towards kind of the individual, like you're saying, more towards the individual kind of a thing. And I'm not saying either one of them is bad. I'm just thinking like over time, there's going to be a lean in that way, since there's kind of not necessarily like nobody says that there's a right or best way to do this, because even like you say, if Sam does better, his team does better. But then like Wallo's saying, if they do better, then you get the block point, so then you get a better chance to get to the playoffs also because of like your team doing better. So there's definitely elements of a lot to get into it. And yeah, there's stats that are trying to come in, which definitely can play a big part in understanding that, but we're so far from having the right stats or enough stats yet to really like know, even because we haven't done this but a few times, and the players aren't yet been in the league for multiple seasons, like you've seen where you've had careers play out, or multiple spanning seasons to kind of play all that out. So it's still real early to tell, I think, where you're coming in, because it's the stats are not available to be there yet. And I think some of the stuff with the stats, and I comment this and talk with the guys at Substats a lot about it when because again, I'm quick to be offended. You guys know that. I love it. And also, but I care about the game a lot, right? I care about this thing a lot.
It comes from a place of love.
Most of it definitely does. Sometimes I'm just like grumpy. Like I'm a person. Sometimes I just get grumpy, and I told you that the other day. I was like, maybe I'm just grumpy after I sent you this whole thing, like bitch. I was like, actually, maybe I'm just a little grumpy. Let me retract some of that. And not about the Substats guy, but some of that, like posting some stats and projections, like projecting from the qualifiers what's going to happen in the regular season as far as kills and breaks is not a good comparison, because nobody plays that the same way. Once you get to the season, kill versus break matters a lot more. In the qualifiers, it matters not at all. You just want to get the quick win, whatever it is. It does, like if you get all breaks, it doesn't affect you at all. It's just good. But in the season, guys do choose to miss breaks to go for chokes or different things like that, or they put a primary on some of that stuff. So that trend it's just not the same game in the qualifiers as it is during the season. So some of those, I just don't see those stats the same way. I just don't think, if you know the game, you would know that that's not necessarily a good correlation, right? And you don't have to agree. I'm just saying.
So you started by saying that
I said a bunch of shit.
That the culture hasn't really decided.
Oh wow, everybody, thank you for that. Sorry, a little delay from you guys, but I appreciate the support.
Oh my god, I gotta take a soundboard away. Continue, Keelan.
You start by saying that the culture hasn't decided which one is more important yet, and then before you could even finish your sentence, you got sucked into the game talking about stats and qualifiers, and like you couldn't help yourself, because the thing that we've built is the thing. Like, it doesn't matter if team is more important or individual is more important. I don't care what, because you're gonna think
it doesn't matter to you.
Well,
Colorado Wolverines ain't gonna win. Colorado Wolverines can't win. Y'all got too many individuals.
The teams are gonna think that the team's more important. The individuals are gonna think the individuals it's more important. The fans are gonna think it's all great and entertaining and fun to watch, and they're gonna love to hear people argue and give.
Stat guys are gonna think the stats are more important, and the field guys are gonna think feelings are more important, and the vibes
everyone
and whatever.
Hates the refs.
And that's widely like accepted that the refs are wrong typically, but we got decent refs here, I think.
No, we have great refs, but sports typically referees, you have to.
It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But so that's what I say, is like some of the stuff is just like time in and like learning what is and isn't like good stats, and that's happened in other sports too over time. They've kind of adjusted what you look at as like important, because some things do or don't directly affect you based on how your team performs. Like points, for example, can or can't. But if you win the block, you all get a point. So your team performing well does affect the outcome for you. So you don't necessarily want to be an individual on a bad team unless all you care about is making the playoffs for yourself. In which case, then you're just kind of like out there trying to just get enough points to make it for one person, right? Which, whatever, maybe that's what you want. I think I like this better as a team game.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to be wrong, though. This is my show.
Well, there is no right and wrong. That's what I'm saying. Even in F1, like this multi-billion
I'm about to call them boys over here. I'm about to call them
multi-billion-dollar league worldwide in F1, and they still don't know which one's more important, the team or the individuals. But if you look at it, the teams think it's more important for the team championship. Of course, the sponsors think it's more important for the teams because that's who they're sponsoring. But then the athletes think this world championship is all that matters, and they're willing to wreck their teammate to win the individual championship and like pass them. Like it doesn't matter what you really what's parts your favorite. It's
I know you're just a scummy producer. I forgot. I put you up on a pedestal for a while. Now I remembered.
It's not even about producing the numbers. It's about a game. It's about a fun game. And like,
I know.
If you try to make a fun game, it's kind of hard. Like,
and we like to argue.
And making a fun game with grappling with a bunch of usually non-entertaining grapplers, it's
super artistic.
And so what we've done is try to create, and again, it's because jiu-jitsu's not like, grappling isn't the thing. The game itself is the thing. People like a sports league. It doesn't care what it doesn't.
How do we get them to learn more about it then? Are you like, what's the mood then?
Marketing.
So we're going back to that. Then we need to just start spending the 40K.
We've never marketed the PGF. Think about that. Like, how have we gotten to where we are without ever marketing? Well, Wallow mentioned it earlier. Like the Grapplers docuseries and things like that act as the marketing agent. Which, yes, organic. That's all we've ever done is organic growth. If we put any money into this thing, it would grow in viewership. And then people, whenever you put it in front of somebody, they get to decide if they like it or not. And just in a sheer numbers game with sports fans, you see what sports make it out there and what kind of viewership certain sports are getting. It's a no-brainer. Like, if we put it in front of them, a percentage of those people will watch and stay and become fans. And so the more money you put behind something like this, the more people you force to watch it through advertising, the more of them are going to, a number of them are going to become a fan and follow along,
That's true, obviously. I guess, but then there we go. We just gotta start blitzing them with paid advertising stuffs,
and not jiu-jitsu people. We don't want.
No, that's the thing, right? It's a different market nowadays.
Yeah, you just want sports fans to check out your sports league, and if they care to stick around, then they will, and if not, thank you for watching or whatever. It's like, that's why we're building the whole thing first. It's like, whenever we get that viewer, it's important to us that there was a draft and there a preseason and there's a fantasy league and there are stats and there's everything that they could possibly want out of a sports league. We need to have that thing so that when they come, they stay.
So then how much do you care about what stats are being reported as important and like carried over in the news cycles and things like that? What will some of that stuff, and I'm not saying that there anything that is right now, but I'm just thinking, just it would there be things that could happen that could change the game in a way that you don't like through some of that stuff? Are there certain, maybe could you see that happening maybe, or no?
Not really. I think data is data. It's not good or bad. It is what it is. It's very objective, and through data, it allows you to make better decisions whether you're an athlete or a team owner or a GM or a coach or the owner of the league or the doctor at the league or the whatever the fuck. It's like data is good to have in order to make better decisions from all angles. So that's really the only way I see that playing out as it moves forward.
And and for yourself, honestly, like the game stats for players don't necessarily matter for you at all. You're more concerned with like fan numbers, like fan interactions and how fans are viewing it and how that's coming across more than you are individual stats by players and how that's perceived. Is that kind of what you're saying?
I think it's all pretty important. All of it kind of just is data for the system. Again,
because there's narratives that are built off of that, right? Like the shortest mat time in PGF history. Isaac's on that list.
Yeah, well, we're
I've been just catching strays during this entire off season.
I didn't know that though. I didn't know that, but it came up in a stats conversation, and I was like, "Oh, I knew immediately." Though I was like, "Oh, that was rude," but the stats didn't know. The stats were just statting.
Data
stats hurt people's feelings sometimes and might get you hit in the mouth.
Yeah. And we'll start, there's going to be,
unless you're AI and then nobody can hit you.
There's going to be records, it's important to have records for the longevity of a league and like legacy and stuff for, moving through talking 20, 40, 100 years of a league. There's records that get set and broke and set and broke. Data, stats.
And rule changes affect how stats appear throughout time too. Not even good or bad, but just like things change because of rule changes or how things shift over time too. And so certain things
which just creates
more important, like speed's more important in this era, and now in this era being bigger and stronger is more important, and not necessarily for jiu-jitsu saying, but just like in sports or whatever. More people were more, like for baseball, contact and speed based or whatever. Then they became big steroid based power hitters after that, So it's just like trends or whatever. Yeah, for sure. Jackie Moon knows what he's talking about. Big fan of Jackie Moon. That's gonna be a little bit of my GM style for sure.
Speaking of GMs and stats,
everybody love everybody.
You're a baseball guy. Moneyball.
Yeah.
Moneyball. I mean, I feel like you should be watching that like 6 or 7 times before we go into this season, Mr. GM.
Just hyping yourself up to be Brad Pitt.
Yeah, you just like look at yourself in the mirror and say a couple of those lines each night. Little affirmation game. Let me ask you a couple questions.
This is Audible. Books on Tape presents Moneyball.
It's on opening credits because I just finished it very recently.
Written by Michael Lewis. Read.
So yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, let me ask you a couple things, man. What you're the general manager of one of the first grappling franchises in the PGF. That's kind of cool. A lot of people may not know, but the Philadelphia Phenoms, they're the first female-owned franchise in our sports history, which is a big deal, especially in the time of, like all this shit coming out about women being treated wrong and paid less in ADCC and all these things. It's like, it feels like a big deal that we have a female owner of a franchise that's there's a lot that comes with that. So that's super cool. And again, you're the general manager of that team, the Philly Phenoms. Y'all got a pretty good squad this season. I know I've heard in the grapevine that a lot of people think the Phillies got a good chance to win the team title. I mean, what are you thinking from the GM perspective? What are some of y'all's like meetings and conversations and stuff been like? Like, are y'all thinking about like matchups already, or like what are y'all like? What's kind of the game plan? How do you approach a season?
So there's been a lot, I guess, from the start of that conversation to kind of where we are now. But speaking of the schedule, I dropped the schedule. I'm the one that released it to everybody. I was the first one, right, Isaac?
We actually discovered it on accident.
I sent it to my team chat right away. So we were the first team to be working on the schedule, unless y'all sent it to somebody else. So we already started doing it immediately, whatever that Wednesday was when we saw it during the middle of the day. I just happened to go to the website and I was like, oh,
I wanted to state for the record that I opened the public website.
It was there.
And it was just there.
And so I was like, hey guys,
live on the show.
Here we go. Y'all.
So tell people pgf.world for more info.
pgf.world, the schedule for the whole season's up there. You can see the XP list, all time leaderboard. It has lots of people's like records and things, people you haven't heard of that maybe you should look up, get back into the archives a little bit and find out about some of these other guys' games, and you'll find out some of the legacy and lore of the PGF. Some of the jokes that are inside jokes won't be like hidden from you so much anymore. Then
Fantasy League, I believe that may be live on the site as well. The fantasy portal back on there.
That's an interesting part of it too, is being able to have stuff like that for fans to interact with. I know a lot of people tell me they don't even like other sports, but they do fantasy stuff, so they watch it more, and so they kind of get into it that way. So I guess that's another avenue to get that casual non-jiu-jitsu fan like interested in the game.
And dude, you might as well play. It's free to play. Go ahead and draft your own team each week based on the matchups that they have. See if you can score the most points as your own team. And, there may or may not be some prizes at the end of the fantasy season. So it may be worth your while to play.
And so, but going back to your question about some of that, how we attack it, like I said, I sent it right away to the coach, Chris, and, ownership group right away, and to the players too, so they can start doing their own work if they want to, which we think that they are and should be doing their own work, homework and research in whatever way they prefer right now, leading into the season, not trying to like reinvent the wheel with anybody, starting it out. Chris is definitely doing a lot of film study. Chris is definitely doing a lot of scheduling, studying, matchup studying. That's something that he feels very important, relative to day to day, and not just like a broad strokes kind of athlete does this kind of thing, and that's what we're looking for. He really wants to work day to day, matchup to matchup. So he's offered and done times with athletes about the specific matchups coming up in the first weeks and stuff like that. Guys are going to get there a few days early to run through some of that, leading up to day one. So that way we do have a chance to get together and hit some of those like game plan points, face to face, so to say. Because we got some guys that start off really hot. Andrew coming out right away with Jet and Elijah in day one. So it's a big statement night for him right off the bat. But then also my job in some of this is to remind Andrew it's a long season, no matter what happens on night one. We've seen lots of guys have bad like night ones, if that happens to happen, and come back really strong and finish as like top dog. And then to remind some of the other guys, then if you feel like you have an early schedule that's pretty easy, be prepared. That probably means your last week is going to be pretty rough. If every other week before that's been pretty easy, because that's just how schedules work. You're going to run into the top guys on the other teams at some point. You may just not have them in the first weeks. So you see guys get too high or too low sometimes in the seasons based on the schedule. So part of my job with that has been trying to remind the guys of how like the season works and to not get too high or too low, especially right now, about any of that, because who knows what's going to happen between now and week like 3 with the other teams and the health of the athletes with our teams and different things like that. There's a lot that's kind of coming into it with that. So as far as the scheduling and stuff goes, that's what I've been trying to do as my role. And then I've been talking to other people, other GMs, and trying to make some connections for our team, make connections for the franchise, to have partnerships with people and other businesses and stuff that can benefit us as a team and our athletes specifically, for like wellness and different things like that, because that's going to be an important part of the longevity of everything, is being able to provide not just cash and money to the guys, but some sort of health, not maybe insurance for this season. We can't do that, but we could provide a way for them to be healthier. Some things that could help them be healthier if we could find some partners. So that's been things I've been trying to work on individually, because I think if I can do that now, that's that 10 or 20-year thing you're talking about. I need to find the partners that want to work with us forever, and that we can really find that commonality with, and grow together. So that's really where my mind's been a lot more than it has been X's and O's. Making sure guys' contracts are turned in. Hey, we need this contract, we need that paperwork. Trying to make sure I'm, doing some of that, doing introductions to people I haven't really met much. It's like, hey, I'm GM, but I also used to bite people's faces off for fun. But now,
how's that sale pitch go? That pitch,
it's just, I don't give that one to everybody the same way, right? It's just it's just like a fun way to to bring it up, So yeah, just I'm ready to get out there face to face, because I like personal interactions, especially with people I don't know very well. It's kind of hard to do. Like, well, with us, we know each other, so we can do this thing very easily. But sometimes, like, you can't do that with somebody you don't know. But like, once I get with them, we could probably start doing this, remotely the same way with those guys too. It often sees. So I'm really excited just to get out there and get to work with them, and get to kind of see what they know and learn from them also, because like we got some vets. Like I really do. I think we got a great team. And the more that I've talked to them, the more like excited that I am that we're going to be able to get together and like spend this time.
I'll say a couple things before I go. I got a meeting at 12:30.
Nope.
This is going to be the best season yet. I know we kind of say that every season, but these athletes, between their styles and their personalities and their buy-in, their amount of themselves that are bought into the thing, between the content, the new staff, the new production, this is going to be the best one. And it's all going to be live on Kick. So tune in.
Yeah.
Boys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we don't have to end it right yet, Isaac. We can just kick him out if you want
fine.
to. Okay, I was just saying.
You want to kick out?
No, yeah, we'll just let Keelan bounce out, and then we'll chit chat for a little bit longer.
Dude, how do you feel that Isaac wears that King's hat? Does that bother you, Steven?
He's poor.
I was just saying.
He's poor.
I mean,
I got one for him when we get there. I'm gonna hook him up. You'll never see it again.
All right, boys.
Hey, I said if you made some underwear, I'd wear it.
There it goes.
That's what he left on.
Good times with Keelan there. Man, he's funny. I know he's got to do his role as owner and all those things. And it's funny that his perspective is so different than the athletes about stuff, or so different than the coaches, or so different than maybe the teams would be about some of that stuff, and how he kind of sees stuff. It's just funny to me.
Well, you have to have, like, from being behind the curtain for so much time, is that like you have to have the show. Like, as the athlete, the most important thing to you is what's happening there in the match, in the moment, in the thing. That's what you have to do to be the athlete. To be the coach, you have to pay attention to the next match too. You have to pay attention to the whole game. You have to pay attention to everything that's going on. That's who you have to be as the coach. To be the team owner, you have to think about the next 10 years. You have to think about next season, last season, the problems you created for yourself in the beginning. Like, you have all those other things. That's who you have to be as the team owner.
Mm-hmm.
To be the producer, you have to think about eyeballs. You got to think about having all the things, and that's who you have to be for the producer. To be the owner, it's a whole nother thing. It's the whole package. It's the athlete. How are they perceived? How is the entire league perceived? Is the entire league perceived because of one athlete? Like, it all compiles. Like, the old saying they always say is like, shit rolls downhill. Well, I don't really think that that's 100% true, because the person who answers for it is usually one individual or two individuals or like a small group of people that are having to see the whole picture. And if they ever take themselves or one person as a priority, the whole picture falls apart. And I think that as an industry in combat sports, that's the problem with every single show that already exists, that's already been out there, is that that there's always a central location that the power, the money, whatever you want to call it, lands on, and that person acts in a selfish way. And that person could be, I could be referring to a corporation or a small group of people. I'm not talking about one individual. I'm not singling one person out. I'm just saying in the shows that have been in our industry, where the central power of power, money, status, whatever that has been as a commodity, that has been used in selfish ways.
Yep. I'm trying to find this link really quick to this thing. Sorry, I can't find what I'm looking for.
I'm excited for what this means. You were asking Keelan earlier, like what it means for him in having this new production and having this stuff come in. Is what I'm excited about is that the behind the scenes stuff that everybody's seen and the documentaries and all that stuff, that's been what we've been doing while we've been building the live show and learning how to be live producers and live directors and cameramen and everything else that goes into building the whole show. And so I'm excited about the next, year of storytelling that me and him are going to be able to do, because all of our time is not occupied with doing something that 10 other people need to be doing at 2 a.m. the night before a show, and so like that's going to kind of change our lives and change the show to a way that I don't think anybody's even seen. And so like what they're going to be able to see, the back end access they're going to have, like I think the fans that are the core fans, I mean, I was going to bring it up with Keelan at some point in there that I saw during that countdown that he just released. They that there's multiple kids that are in this thing, and I call them kids, I mean they're like in their 20s, but like the athletes that are fans from the documentary. Like they saw the documentary, their friend showed them the documentary, and they're like, "Oh, I want to be in that." You're like, "Oh, wow, goal accomplished!" Like, and I bump into people in the community all the time that have seen it and start talking about it or start telling me about it, and they get 5 minutes, 10 minutes into the pitch, and they're pitching something that I was part of making, and I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. I'm glad y'all like it. So like, I'm excited about what that's gonna bring to the table. Is like you're gonna give it. We're going to be able to give more attention to the Grappler series, the behind the scenes, the weekly updates, the type of stuff. I mean, the amount of hands on deck that we have for the documentation alone this season is quadruple what it was last season. So like that only means better, right?
Yeah. I think everything's going in the right direction with all that stuff. It's going to be great to have that backup on backup of stuff where it's not just like you and Keelan and Octavia and then whoever else can kind of jump in and help from back there to do stuff. I am really struggling to find this stupid link that I'm trying to post in there, but there is a link for Phenoms shirts pre-sale. I will figure this out eventually at some point in my life.
Well, just like give them the clip. Give me the clip.
I can't find the thing.
I'm saying, say the clip, Steven. Just say.
Get your Phenoms t-shirts, the team shirt, on this link. It's going to support the team. It's going to come with some other cool stuff, not just a t-shirt, but we're not going to tell you what that is. So it'll be a nice surprise for everybody that orders it. Price includes the shipping there. We're gonna hand deliver that thing. It's not drop shipped from somewhere else. We're gonna make it and deliver it to you ourselves, so we can ensure that you get a really good experience from the Phenoms. So that's something that we're excited to be releasing there.
Some exclusive Phenoms merch. That's dope.
Boom.
That's cool. It's the bobblehead t-shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a '90s basketball inspired kind of thing. Like they have that starting five kind of thing. So that's what we're looking at with it. Wallow, if you're in there, drop the link in the chats and stuff. Wallow, I cannot pull it up on my computer. I think I did everything on my phone, which is kind of crazy how this works. They're both supposed to be connected to each other, but yeah,
we're gonna be live on Kick March 1st.
What day is that? Sunday? As I kind of pick you up, we'll be
Sunday, Monday. We're gonna be on our road trip to Vegas.
Yep.
And we're going to be live. Some other teams I've heard are going to be live leading up to it. We're all going to be on Kick talking in real life, IRL, as the kids say.
Oh, is that what
live at PGF World 2026. It's going to be live here on the platform you're watching us on March 4th, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You do the math and be there.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good. I'll be out there leading the work of the MC. So you get to hear me doing that, interviews and stuff. Also, like I say, working with the Phenoms as general manager. So we definitely want to thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody that has watched, thank you, Keelan, for being here earlier, giving us a little bit of your time here. I know he's very busy. Everybody in the chat, Substats and Wallow and the Wolf, everybody, Sam. You guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are like subscribing, liking, doing all those button pushing stuff that the algorithm needs for us to keep getting pushed out there, because we're gonna keep working hard and trying to make some good, exciting, fun, funny, interesting content for you guys, all the way from this to probably play MLB The Show a lot in the meantime while I'm out there, because I like that. So I'll be playing some video games, talking PGF or whatever. I like baseball, so I might be going to some baseball games if I can find some while we're out there. Whatever. Just gonna be doing all kinds of stuff. If you think that's cool, then
living life.
Come on in. So thanks everybody. Much love. We will catch you Sunday probably.